Shalom, shalom, Yasharallah. It's Brother Yaradon with the Lions of Judah. And I want to start off by saying, call halal to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. That is to say, all praises to the Most High God in the name of His Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And I want to give double honors and salutations to the elders of the house of Isreal, the tabernacle of David, man. And double honors to all the brothers that's out there on the corners preaching this word of truth and sincerity. And all the Agwatiyam out there, that's taking care of the household, take care of them kids, and reverencing her husband, you know what I'm saying, and being that Proverbs 31 woman, man, like the Most High made her to be, Shalom, peace and salutations to the nation of Israel, man. And I just wanted to let everybody know how special we are, man, and we have to always hold on to that, because that's what's going to help us stay grounded and rooted when we know who we are. You can't just be talking about you an Israelite or you the Jews, but you not living as such. You just talking about, I know we the people, but then you still breaking the commandments. You don't have faith in Hamashiach. You just out here any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Black African American niggas, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to put these precepts out there to show the people how the world is going to be blessed, how this is going to be a utopian society under the rulership of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, and the blessings for the other nations, what they got coming. And because people seem to be confused, man. People seem to be confused about the Bible. They think that, salvation and the kingdom of heaven is for everybody on earth can walk around and accept Jesus. If you accept Jesus and say He is Lord and Savior in your heart and all that, at the end of church, when they do the altar call, everybody think that's all it takes. But no, it takes more than that. You have to keep the faith in Hamashiach, and you have to keep the commandments. So I'm going to just pull out some precepts to show how important and special we are to God, and that He's only dealing with one group of people and not the world. So here it goes. I'm going to start off with the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 2. It says, "You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." So that's right. That's why we got the foot on our neck, hands up, don't shoot, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland. I call it casually killing. They're killing us casually, especially George Floyd, how the officer had his hand in his pocket with his knee on his neck. He just casually took out another Jake, So that's the Most High punishing us for all of our iniquities. That's why ain't nobody else in the world going through nothing as nearly as severe as what we going through, So the Most High is dealing with us. He's punishing us, man, for what we did. That's why we living in hell. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back up to Joel chapter 2 and verse 27. "And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed." That's right, Israel. We are His people, and we're not going to be ashamed to get out here and tell you other nations what y'all got coming. And I'm going to get into that. I'm going to let y'all know what y'all got coming right here at the bottom, Isaiah 14 and 1. But before we get that, let me continue on, let y'all know how special y'all is to the Most High. It says, 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9, "But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises of Him who have called you out of the darkness into His marvelous light." That's right, because He didn't have to promise Abraham nothing. He could have just left us silly, goofy, any kind of way, living out here in the world without Him. But no, He saw fit to put His love upon us. He saw fit to put His love upon us, man, which leads me to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6, man. It says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto Himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth." That's right. So despite what Christianity tells you when they say, what's the Christian song? Jesus loved the little children, all the little children of the world. No, that's false. Because in Matthew 15:24, when the Syrophoenician Greek woman, the Canaanite woman, asked Yahweh to heal her daughter, he ignored her and called her a dog and told her to keep it moving, him and the disciples. So, as contrary to popular belief, Yahweh doesn't care about all the little children of the world, red, yellow, black, or white. He don't care, you know. So, the Most High and His Son, Yahweh are only dealing with one group of people, man. It's not hard to comprehend. It's reiterated consistently throughout the whole Bible. Every book talks about one group of people that He's dealing with, man. But He does have blessings for the other nations. You know, they're going to be able to live in heaven. And they're going to be able, after 1,000 years of slavery, though, every nation has to go into slavery for 1,000 years because every nation had a hand in our captivity and enslavement. So I'm going to read the blessings right here, Genesis 12:3. And it says, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that cursed thee, and in the same, Salakia, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Let me read that again, Genesis 12:3. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Okay, so people read that, and they think that, Salakia, every race of people, every nation can be saved, can make it into the kingdom, because it says that all the families of the earth shall be blessed. But no, let me explain to you why all the families of the earth are going to be blessed. Because the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 9. Salakia, let me pull this up. No, Salakia, bear with me for 1 second. Let me just go back and get it. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1. It's only one chapter. Obadiah 1 and 9. I'm going to start and go to 10. It says, and thy mighty man, O.T. man, shall be destroyed. Salakia. And thy mighty man, O.T. man, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by the slaughter. You know, because Esau is the forefather and the progenitor of the white race, the wicked, according to Malachi chapter 1 and 4, and the book of Job chapter 9 and verse 24. You know, so the Edomites, or Esau, or Edom, or Idumea, the nation of people who are the so-called white people today, he says that every one of the mount of Esau shall be cut off by slaughter. Why is Esau going to be cut off by the slaughter? Verse 10, for the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So that's a part of the blessing for the other races, that the wicked white man is going to be taken out of power and put into slavery for 1,000 years. The Christians call it the millennial reign, when Christ comes back and reigns as king on earth for 1,000 years. So, the Edomites, the so-called white race, is going to have to build the kingdom of heaven, and they're going to have to be exterminated afterwards, because it says they shall be cut off forever by the slaughter. Every one of them got to die. So, you know, that's a part of the blessing for the other nations, because of what? The other nations, the white man has defiled the oceans and the ozone, and he got power plants, and he's the lead contributor to the destruction of the world, because he operates and owns the European Union and the United Nations, these leagues of nations where everybody comes underneath the white man and says that we're going to be confederate or in cahoots with you, you know. So the blessing for the other nations that I just read in Genesis 12 and verse 3, the blessing for the other nations is that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by the slaughter. So once we destroy the so-called white man and beat the other nations into subjection and rule them with a rod of iron, you know what I'm saying, then we can live in a peaceful utopian society. But until we put everybody, every nationality in slavery and then exterminate the white man off the face of the earth, you know, let me read this, Salaki, the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. Salaki, let me get it the other way so I could read the whole couple of the scriptures I got. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. So that's right, the other nations, strangers, they're going to be joined with us in our own land in the kingdom of heaven, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess. The word possess means to own. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. That's right, because if you go to Psalms 83, you will see the table of nations where the people destroyed our homeland and put us in captivity and made us worship their gods and cut us off from our power. So it says, and it shall come to pass. So like it, let me finish reading that. It says, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Because the white man is not the only man that's oppressing us. When you go to the so-called black community, you got the Chinese man, the Arab man, the East Indian man, and the African man, all owning these businesses, hair braiding shops, and Chinese restaurants, and nail salons, and cell phone stores, and clothing stores, and gas stations. And niggas got to sell drugs and can't get a job sweeping and mopping. So it says that, and they shall rule over their oppressors, which is all of these wicked nations who worship these other gods. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. So with that being said, man, I'm going to say shalom to the nation of Israel. You know, I'm out here praying for the 1/3 and for the elect. You know, it's in 144,000. And I'm praying that everybody who's learning and listening, that the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, gives everybody understanding of His word. You know, so that we can get up out of here. It's time to go, man. You know, things looking up for us. I'm starting to see chariots every day, every other day. I can't get away from the number 144. So everything looking up and up, man. So y'all just hearken into the word and humble down and go research and study and read the Bible over, line upon line, precept upon precept. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. You know, so once you learn the precepts, you will learn the truth, and you will start to hate the injustices and wickedness that's pushed out in this wicked, evil society that we held captive in. Because I'm a felon, and once you get a felon in America, you're not supposed to be able to leave the country. So technically, I'm stuck here until Yahweh Shah comes back on the chariots and beams us up out of here. Hopefully, the Most High selects me. I don't care if I'm number 143, 99, as long as I'm in there. So shalom, and peace and blessings be upon y'all, man.